Diversity through intercultural communicative language teaching. This is the third and final video in a series about intercultural communicative language teaching, iCLT. The first two videos briefly discussed iCLT and principles 1 through 4 of iCLT that Jonathan Newton proposed. Here we will finish with principles 5 and 6. Principle 5. iCLT acknowledges and responds appropriately to diverse learners and learning contexts. One of the stages on the way to acculturation, the creation of a third space where the individual is comfortable taking aspects from two or more cultures, is called minimization. Minimization is when the learner focuses on the similarities between themselves and other cultures and only focuses on the similarities. This is better than the first step of denial, where the individual considers different beliefs, values, and etc. to be wrong. Different equals wrong in the denial stage. Many instructors with good intentions fall into the trap of overemphasizing similarities between cultures. This is not desirable. The idea that we are all the same, that we all bleed red, devalues diversity. Besides, what do we really mean when we say we are all the same? What standard do we use? Unconsciously, we're saying everyone else is like me, which is why minimization is considered ethnocentric. Only by actively embracing our differences can we truly value everyone. By the way, acceptance is not equal to agreement. I do not have to agree with your morals and beliefs, but I do need to accept your right to have morals and beliefs that are different from mine. Principle 5 not only values the diversity in the classroom and encourages its use as content for language lessons, it also respects the background of the learner. For example, an iCLT teacher would never tell learners to speak only English when they are outside or inside the classroom. L1 use is not just tolerated, it is embraced in a pedagogical manner. Furthermore, Principle 5 leads to differentiated instruction for learners because it recognizes that students from different cultures will have diverse learning preferences. Principle 6. iCLT emphasizes intercultural communicative competence rather than native speaker competence. The last of Newton's principles promotes the concept of English as an international language, EIL, rather than as a second or other language. Do the billion people in India speak English incorrectly because they don't sound like the 300 million people in the US? When we explicitly or implicitly set native speaker competence as the goal for our class, we are setting the majority of students up for failure. Correspondingly, we are setting an assimilation goal instead of an acculturation goal. Of course, some learners will choose to assimilate into the target culture, but it should be their choice and not the instructor's. Instead, if we focus on understanding register and pragmatics in speaking, situational use of language, suprasegmentals, the intonation, stress, and rhythm in pronunciation, and analysis of culture, then we enable the majority of learners to reach intercultural communicative competence. We help them understand that they do not have to give up their cultural identity to reach fluency in the target language. The goal is to understand and to be understood, not to speak without an accent or with perfect grammar. Many students will not readily accept this concept because they've been learning English for years and no one else has presented this concept to them. In that case, considering what EIL means could be a discovery project for the class. Also, though, you do have to understand that in some settings, in some situations, in order for the language learner to be successful, usually like in business settings, they do need to strive for more native speaker-like fluency than in other settings. So you need to adjust a little bit to what the goal of the learner is. In summary, Principle 5 celebrates diversity in the world and in the classroom, while Principle 6 frees learners from the mostly unrealistic goal of native speaker competence.